Hello everyone, this is Kevin from SuperSaiyabros and I have my brother here
Hey, it's me, Josh.
and we are here with part 3 of Dragon Ball Z Saga or the arcs. Today we will be speaking about the Majin Buu Saga. I think this will be a little bit of a shorter podcast because I believe that of all the sagas of Dragon Ball Z, between my brother and I, this is the one that it's not that it wasn't enjoyable. We just feel that there might not be too much to talk about, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not that it's not enjoyable. I just think that the Majin Buu saga felt forced a little bit. It didn't have to happen, but it was. It felt forced to me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked it, but there was just something that was missing. But let's go ahead and start, because there were a few phases of Majin Buu. First, and there was pre Majin Buu. There was the tournament, which was interesting. It was funny. Brought a lot of funny moments, especially when they punch the machine and Vegeta breaks it. So that was pretty cool. It was a nice callback that uh, the referee or the commentator from Dragon Ball was still there, and that was really cool for me as a Dragon Ball fan. The tournament comes back, and I mean, that does feel a little bit out of place because now they're like super overpowered people, and they're fighting in a martial arts tournament where obviously it kind of doesn't make that much sense because they're not fighting against like super powerful people, but rather just your ordinary Joes, ordinary humans. But they obviously want to fight against each other. So there is where Spopovich is introduced, which is one of like the gray dudes, the buffy gray dudes that have the M on their forehead.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, essentially, they are taken to go ahead and fight essentially with a lot after like the tournament they are like taken to fight against uh like the weird alien dude with the weird lips, and like a lot of people they're going down the level to fight with all the minions of Bobby V, and then yeah, I mean, they fight against Dabura, they fight then against the fat Majin Buu, and I mean, do you want to talk about a little bit of Dabura, or do you just want to go straight ahead with Majin Buu?
I mean, he wasn't very interesting. He just spit, and then you turn into stone, and that's pretty much all he does.
I mean, I did definitely like his design, but yeah, they just made him so Majin Buu could destroy him, and they made the hint, or they actually said it that Dabura was at the same level of power of Cell, a perfect Cell.
So what I thought was cool. I'm gonna rewind a little bit to the tournament.
Okay.
What I thought was cool was that they brought back the Super Saiyan 2. What I didn't think was cool was how they made it look like nothing.
Well,
Basically, how he got paralyzed by Supreme Kai,
yeah.
and and then that was it. Like that was the most powerful transformation in the previous saga, and in the beginning of it, it's already useless.
Well, to be honest, I really wasn't fond of Super Saiyan 2
Why?
because I mean there really were barely any changes.
Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 was way better than Goku's and Vegeta's because it was no change other than more hair detail. But for Gohan, it was a complete design change.
Well, yeah, but I mean, uh, yes, the change for Gohan were better to the other ones, but overall, like even like when they grow up and everything, that's just yeah, they get like slightly longer hair, and that's about it. And I don't know, like I think, and again, that this is going a little bit back to what we were speaking about the last time about the buff Vegeta and Trunks, and you mentioned that you didn't like it. I at least liked it because it looked different. So I was like, oh, okay, so I'm seeing a change Um, and obviously, again, that thing was not good because they like yes, they were more powerful, but they were super slow. So what was the point? But at least it looked different. I was able to notice. Oh, so now this is a different form. And with Super Saiyan 2, yes, obviously if you're like a super fan, you're gonna notice. Oh, now the hair, how it looks, it's slightly different, and there you go. But for me, yeah, I mean, Gohan's form when he was a teen was definitely noticeable. But I think what changed more was the actual character, the personality. That he was not like because Gohan when he was a kid and teen he was like always the wimp. So I think what was more impactful with the change was the change in personality that he was like a super serious, super determined character, which was really cool. And I think that's the contrast that like made it go above and beyond because his design reflected a more of a like a coward kind of character. So now that he's serious and he transforms into Super Saiyan 2, he looks like super cool because the design is now made to look like a more of a confident person. I think that's why the change was so noticeable with Gohan. I mean, with Goku, they're already like proud warriors, and yeah, I mean, they just their hair and they have like a bang on the face, and that's about it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't really care for the designs of Super Saiyan 2 for the rest of but Gohan. But anyway, the getting back to that, that's the part that I really hated because Gohan was like my favorite character. So for me, they kind of in that scene they kind of killed him.
hmm yeah. I mean, yeah. When Gohan grows up, it's just a lot of he goes back to his coward is forms or whatever. He goes. Well, it's not that he's coward. It's more that
I mean,
again he's more of a nerd type of character.
yeah,
Which
but he was always more of a pacifist, and
yeah,
after being a pacifist.
yeah, and I mean I get it. Not all of the characters have to be like the same about oh let's go ahead and fight. But I don't know. It's just that go. It seems that he had potential to there to be a balance. You know that maybe he doesn't like to fight, but he finds like his methods on fighting. But yeah, they didn't do anything after that.
Yeah.
Well, they did and we're going to jump like a little bit, but they did do the Mystic Gohan or how is it called in English? Ultimate
Yeah,
form?
so yeah, it is Mystic Gohan or Ultimate Gohan,
Yeah,
but
yeah, go ahead.
but it is in the show, and most people know it as Mystic Gohan.
Well, that's weird though because when I check like on English sites, I see they call him more Ultimate, and they're like, well, I don't know why people call him Mystic.
'Cause Ultimate is what the video games refer to him as
Mm-hmm.
in Ultimate form. Not and most people who play Dragon Ball Z games, that's where they get all their info from. But
Mm-hmm.
Mystic Gohan, if you look it up, like in English, that's I mean that's how I know him better,
Yeah.
and but that's just because I've like watched it, and so
Yeah.
I guess people who played the video games know him more as Ultimate Gohan.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I mean, well, let's just go ahead and talk about the Majin Buus then. If
Yeah,
Dabra, I mean,
so
again, Dabra is more like a in comparison. So you can be like, okay, so Dabra is like perfect cell. So Majin Buu was able to defeat him like super easy. So this is much powerful than Cell. But essentially, Fat Boo, I like the design. It was super different to the other type of that. So far, the villains we have seen, you know, they're buff or they're slim, they're fast. This character, he's fat, he's goofy, he's childish. I really like that design. But yeah, some people didn't like that design. I don't know about you.
um, Majin Buu, I don't know how I feel about his design. I never really liked it. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I thought that he was like he wasn't a scary villain. Like you could see him do some scary, I guess, do some scary kind of stuff, but he didn't really. He didn't have the same presence as like Kid Buu.
For me, he was kind of scary because the fact that he was childish. Because when you're like a kid, you're barely like learning morals, what's right, what's wrong. So if you like, imagine if you made like a baby mad because you took his candy and that baby was super duper powerful, he would just like kill you because he doesn't know better. So for me, that's how Majin Buu looked like. And yes, Kid Buu or any other Buu forms do look better, but I really don't think that the design itself for this Majin Buu was like bad by any way. I even had like a toy of that Majin Buu, and I definitely loved it when I was a kid because again, it's just an such a, they go against the norm of what a powerful character needs to look like, and I think that's why I liked it.
I think that's a fair point. I think that in a lot of in people's minds, they think that a supervillain is supposed to be this built machine, but in reality, it can be anybody, and that's in real life too. Like it can be somebody who looks like they're not at all an athlete, who can be the most dangerous person.
Yeah,
So
I would give the original Majin Buu a 7.5.
I'll give him a seven.
Okay, and then after that, he meets Mr. Satan, and how is he called in English? Hercules, right?
Hercule.
Oh, Hercule. There we go. And then he becomes good, and because Mr. Satan like teaches him like all the good things, he gives him candy, takes a shower with him. They become like
Essentially separating the good from the evil in him.
yeah, and he it literally expels the evil part, which is like a super gray evil boo.
They could have done more with that one.
Yeah, and the design itself like looked like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that one I would give it like a 6.
That's a five for me.
Yeah, yeah, it really didn't look that interesting. Then obviously it he then transforms into well the Boo that we or the Super Boo that we regularly know, and then from there he starts absorbing a lot of people. Uh, he then the fusion happens with Trunks and Goten, which I I mean the fusion thing is cool, but it's just that like Goten and Trunks are like they're kids and they're like super cocky and I mean the design looks okay, but just the personality that I didn't like. I liked it in Majin Buu, but in like these actual kids, it's like mm, yeah, for me that part wasn't that great for Gotenks.
Yeah. In general, I don't know. I just never liked the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. So when they did that to Gotenks, I thought that was like, eh.
For me, I did like a Super Saiyan 3 because again, I think design wise or character wise, when they have transformations, you have to make it clear that it's different.
But see, this is the only, I don't know. This might cause a huge disagreement, but I think that in this case, the I agree with. I liked the design of the Super Saiyan 4
Hmm.
because it actually is so. There's something tied to it. So they're actually getting closer to the Great Ape form. Like I thought that that's a brilliant idea, and with the Super Saiyan 3, I just felt just even it's even in the English dub, it's like a joke where it says Babidi says, "You changed your hair, so what?"
Hmm.
Like, that's literally what happened. How I felt
Oh,
about it.
oh yeah, Bobby also says that, and I think that's in general. He makes a joke about that. But again, it's at least a noticeable change, and I think that's what like why a lot of people didn't like Super or don't like Super and that's kind of like the ongoing joke that they make. It's because oh now he's changing his hair to purple, now he's changing his hair to white or gray or whatever. Because what and that I do partially agree with that. I do like Dragon Ball Super, but definitely I can say that of all the transformations, as you said, I agree that Super Saiyan 4 is the best transformation. Now, the story itself, now it's a different
Yeah,
thing entirely,
yeah,
but
that's a different thing. I'm talking about yeah, the
mhm,
design alone.
yeah, but the design alone, yes, it is definitely the best transformation. However, again, when you're doing your character, I think it is very important to distinguish it when something's, even if it's just like long hair, and he loses his eyebrows. That I mean, as long as it's distinguishable, and you're like, okay, so now something's different, so like you can assume that maybe that has more power or whatever. So I did like the Super Saiyan 3, and again, the design of Gotenks itself is like looks decent enough, but it's just like the character itself is a little bit annoying, which that's kind of the point. That's how it's supposed to be because they're kids. But obviously, some people will like it, some people won't. But again, he Super Boo fights against this, and one of the best scenes that I remember from when I was a kid is like when Super Boo gets to the top of um uh,
With
Karam, the Master Karam. Is that the name of the cat, right?
oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then he just like uses like the blast with his finger and like kills like everyone. So I think that that was cool. And I don't know. Yeah, if you wanted something like scarier, I think that Super Boo is it. So what do you think about the design of Super Boo?
Yeah, Super Boo was a good design. I think that uh, it was a scarier, definitely a scarier version of Fat Boo because at that point he's just the evil version of it.
Hmm.
Uh, I thought that it was cool too as he evolved each character how he got kind of smarter and I don't know I did like the design of Super Boo.
Yeah, yeah. I would give it for me that would be an 8ish.
Yeah, that's an 8 for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, then from there again, Super Boo absorbs like a bunch of people. Piccolo then absorbs also Gotenks, and then uh, and we didn't discuss this, but Vegeta previously fought. He turned into evil because of Bobby D, because he wanted to. He still kind of like wanted to defeat Goku. He didn't want to believe that he was turning good and that he still had his Saiyan pride, so he was quote unquote controlled or influenced by this power and fought against Goku. Then went defeated quote unquote defeated Goku, even though Goku could have gone Super Saiyan 3 and just obliterated Vegeta. But yeah, I mean, he goes against Majin Buu, he explodes, and nothing happens to Majin Buu. So now he's dead. He comes back, and then they fuse with the Potara earrings and transform into Vegito, which, to be honest, Vegito is a fan favorite. I
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me stop you there. We forgot a very important character, Majin Vegeta.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was speaking about. So that's how he turns quote unquote evil. He, um, because again, he kind of still thinks that he can't believe that he's turning good because now again he has his kid. He believes he's
So that's
going
a good, that was a
soft.
good way to put it. You can't believe he's going good.
Yeah, I mean he just is all about his Saiyan pride, and now that he has a family and that he's enjoying like his time on Earth, he goes to he turns into Majin Vegeta. And again, then that fight, Majin Vegeta defeats Goku, which again, if he transformed into Super Saiyan 3, which again the excuse is that, well, if he did, he would shorten his time on Earth, and then like, yeah, I mean, he would apparently he would like have to go back or whatever. So, yeah, and again, Majin Vegeta gets destroyed. He explodes on the Fat Boo, and again, then Mystic Gohan happens, which I think Mystic Gohan was cool. Uh, but
It
it
was going in the right direction, but then they ruined him again.
well, it was quote unquote, but at the same time, it wasn't because it. Don't get me wrong, it was cool, but he made the same mistakes of like all the Saiyans. He could have defeated um, Super Boo, but he gets like all cocky and he gets absorbed because of that. So I really think that Gohan shouldn't be to make him cool. He shouldn't be a copy of like Goku. So you already gave him a personality where he is again he's super studious. He likes to read books. He likes to uh, be responsible. He's very different from his father. So now you created that character, so you have to develop him in a way that it makes sense that he's actually progressing. So the way that he gave him like his mystic form again, I understand that they're giving him like confidence, but he Gohan, do you ever see, at least in Dragon Ball Z, where he is fighting intelligently, where he's using more his brain for the fight rather than just his fists?
No, I just think that in the Mystic Gohan with him, I thought the whole point of him becoming Mystic was him maturing and learning
But
how and when to use his power.
well, yeah, but I mean, maturing doesn't mean that your personality is going to change because uh,
Well, sure it does because your character maturing also affects your personality.
but yes, but his his personality was already mature. Even when he was a kid, he was much more mature than Goku. So
But
he
so
so maturing on my
why
end,
is it?
doesn't mean that okay, so now you're gonna resolve everything with this. I understand it's a shonen and again it's about fighting, but if you're going to create a character that you're making him up to be a character that uses his brain, then why not show it on the battlefield and make him fight differently? Yes, again, he's a pacifist and whatever, and but he learns that he has to fight and how to fight his battles. So make it that he uses his brain for battles. And I will give you an example. And maybe you're not caught up into Dragon Ball Super, and we're jumping a little bit, but I'll just bring it out very briefly. Uh, they did a lot of things wrong also in Dragon Ball Super with Gohan. I don't think that you would like it, but at least in the Tournament of Power, there's a scene where he's like, okay, so this is how I should do it, and this is what's going to happen. And there's a little bit of a hint that he's using a thought process of what he's going to do. And so at that point, it's like, yes, Gohan should be different than Goku. Just don't give him like just he's powerful and that's it. And now he changes his personality and he's super serious and no. So make if you already got out of the way to make him a different character, why not just develop it that way?
Uh,
Yeah,
Uh,
because I mean he's a different he's not Goku. You agree with that, right?
yeah.
And like how he grew up, he was always by Chi Chi. That in Spanish the name is milk, which is kind of like a pun, I guess. Uh, but yeah. So the mother um teaches him. He has to study, that he has to use his brain, that he has to be responsible. So those are very mature traits. So why not make him display it in the battlefield? So yes, he maybe had a immature stance in the sense that okay, so I don't need to fight anyone because I don't like fighting. That sure, that is immature because if there's somebody that's going to destroy the whole universe, and you're like the only person that is in between them to make that objective true, then sure, you have to fight. You have to, but that doesn't mean that you're just gonna strip away the personality that you already are, the already mature traits that you have. You have to fight like a different style, and that would have been like super cool if they made him okay. Maybe Gohan isn't as powerful as his father, but he fights in a way that he can over outsmart the enemies. And he's still powerful, but he's not as powerful as Goku. But he uses his brains, and that is more than enough to compensate. Because Goku is a smart fighter. Uh, Goku is a smart fighter, but not in the sense that he like thinks too much or makes like strategies or plans that are like out of the way of like the normal of like someone that knows how to fight. So Goku knows how to fight, but it's just that he doesn't like develop like super intelligent strategies like oh you caught me in this and you took me to this specific location and you were already calculating on where I was going to go blah blah blah. No, so it's just punch punch punch. Oh, I know you were going to go, I transfer there and I punch you. So yeah, I think that would have been super interesting for Gohan. Anywho, yes, then going from there again, Vegito, which is a fan favorite. And to be honest, I prefer Vegito over Gogeta because it makes more sense. Because again,
Uh,
and I went ahead and I told you last time, and that yes, they have to be the same height to fuse. So I mean, I
oh,
understand.
you,
Yeah, yeah, they have to be the same height. They have to be not only the same level power, but also the same height. And they even made it like a joke like um, Krillin and Piccolo wouldn't be able to fuse because they're like super different in heights. But again, I understand that at the end of the day they're gonna make it possible, and that's whatever. But yeah, Vegito had his like his attack, the sword, the energy sword. Um, that was super cool. Then from there, he transforms into Kid Buu. But before for Kid Buu, for Super Buu, again, I would give Super Buu like an 8. And you?
Super Boo. Yeah, that's a solid eight.
Yeah. So then from there, transforms into Kid Buu. Kid Buu, for me, I mean,
Kid Boo was like an 8.5. I liked Kid Boo.
for me, it's more like still an 8 or maybe like a 7.7. Because, yes, he looks still menacing. He's like more crazy. But it's just, he doesn't like talk anymore. So it's more everything about grunts. So what I liked about Super,
Yeah. Well, that's what I guess what I liked about him was that like he didn't need to say anything.
yeah, it's just for me the form itself. Again, I and it's yes, he goes like a little bit more crazier, and again he is out of the like normal of what a powerful character would look like, but it's still I think the Super Buu, it looks very similar to Super Buu, just like smaller.
Well, that's why he's just Kid Boo.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have still made him like add a little bit of a different trait other than just like smaller, and that's it.
You know what? What I didn't like, Oob.
but yeah, I mean,
A horrible design.
I really don't mind Moob. I mean, he's okay. He's a reincarnation, so he's going to obviously reincarnate in a human. So yeah, I mean, I really don't mind Noob.
I hated the way he was designed. I don't know. I don't like any. I don't like anything about
Why not?
how. I don't. I just don't. To me, when I see him, like he's not really. I don't really see like how he's a reincarnation.
Well, what did you expect? It's like the reincarnation is not going to look anything like how the previous form looked. It just means that reincarnation means that somebody is going to revive in a different body. But like for example, somebody if you believe in reincarnation, you're like, oh, I might reincarnate like in a dove or in a cat or whatever, and the cat is not going to have your face, Joshua.
No, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is that like the design of it was nothing special. You wouldn't really know that he was the reincarnation of Majin Buu.
And that's
Like,
the point, though.
but no. But like what I'm saying is that if he's gonna be a reincarnation and they're gonna say that oh he is a reincarnation, then he should have something like special, and he didn't.
Well, didn't look like any other character. He had like his hair like it was very particular. Um, so I think that made him stand out, and he was like also like super skinny when they met like in the tournament. So I think it was okay. I mean, I really can't ask for a lot because it's a reincarnation. It's not like he is reborn or anything. So there's like a difference there. So it makes sense. If he was like reborn to be good, then okay, he would like just look like a blue instead of pink, and he would like a maybe a cooler design that way. But he's being reincarnated. It kind of like, yeah. I mean, there's not much you can ask. I don't know. For me, I don't know which design would be like. Oh, this is so much better that. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I just felt like they could have done more with that.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to Kid Buu, yeah, it was they could have added a little bit more to Kid Buu. Like for that, that's not a reincarnation show. They could have. I understand. Again, it's like the kid version, but they could have added something to distinguish it even more. Uh, but yeah, for me it was like a 7.7. For me,
I
Super Buu was the better one.
don't know. I liked Kid Boo's design.
Nah, and that's okay. I mean, uh, he did like some cool things. But it's just I like characters that say at least something. Like even what's Brawly or Broly, sorry, even in like the new movie, he doesn't say a lot, but he says enough that it's like okay. So he's like the quiet type, but he's not.
Yeah,
So
but I guess, and that's why I really liked Gogeta though, because Gogeta said that one liner in the movie, uh, where, and I really liked it. I don't know if that's what he said it in the Japanese or English or Spanish dubs, but in the English dub in the movie, he makes like a really cool quote that I still really like. That he says uh, something along the lines of every force you create has an echo. Uh, your own bad energy will be your own doing. I really loved that line.
hmm
I don't know if that's what it was supposed to be, but it was a really, really good line, and that's all he says.
yeah, I mean Vegito and Gogeta are definitely different. Gogeta is definitely the more serious side, the doer, which I do like that. I do like characters that do stuff, but it's just the design itself. I like more Vegito, but yes, the personality I do like Gogeta more. Because he's and it's consistent because even when he fought Janemba, he was also like that. So he was a very silent, like, oh, let's just do this and that's it. And Vegito on the other end, he's like talk, talk, talk.
Yeah,
But what I like about and that distinguishes others in Dragon Ball Z, it's like Gotenks is talk, 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 but he gets like defeated a lot. So it's like, then why are you talking? And Vegito, like every time he talks a lot, but he has the power. He's turned into chocolate with against Super Boo, and he
He
still
beat them up.
destroys. Yeah, he still destroys Super Boo. So that's what I like about that character, that he can back it up and he can definitely do it. But yeah, Gogeta is definitely more serious, and that's also cool. But just um, the little thingamajig that he uses, um, yeah, it's like the Trunks thing. That's what I don't like a whole lot. But yeah, I think that's about it. This is a little bit of a shorter saga. Of all the sagas in Dragon Ball Z, this is going to be, yeah, I think it's going to be the third place definitely.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still believe the Frieza saga was the best. Then again, the Cell saga. Again, we did have different reasons, but I definitely like the Cell saga because of the androids. And then Majin Buu.
Like I said, I think the Frieza saga was really good, and and it's close, I think. But for me personally, because it's just what I grew up with, was the Cell saga.
Hmm. Yeah. So Cell saga, Frieza saga, and then the Buu saga.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think Cell saga, Frieza saga, Buu saga.
Okay. So with that, we conclude Dragon Ball Z. This was a little bit all over the place.
Like
Um,
always.
yeah, because we forgot a little bit of details about like Majin Vegeta. But yeah, it was a little bit faster. Again, it's just that for Majin Buu, yeah, I did like some designs, but overall, it just didn't live up to the previous
Also,
saga.
really quick.
Hmm.
It also had the one of the saddest scenes, which is where Vegeta like sacrifices himself and like
Oh yeah,
he's like Trunks. I thought that was one of the saddest scenes of Dragon Ball Z in general.
yeah, but I mean, it kind of detracts from it because he didn't do anything to
For
Majin
nothing,
Buu.
but
Hmm.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, I do get it. Yeah, it is like a sad. And what I liked is that they developed Vegeta even more. So
yeah.
that I definitely appreciate, and I would have hoped that they did with Goku or like with Gohan. But at least Vegeta, I think, in all of the Dragon Ball series, Vegeta is the one that has had more growth as a character. And that's why a lot of people love Vegeta. It's because he was first like a evil character, then
But
he was an anti-hero, and then he became a hero, and then he
I don't understand how Akira Toriyama didn't like him, yet developed him the most.
yeah, I don't know either. I mean, because Vegeta is definitely the one that has been developed the most, and that's why a lot of people have a lot of love for Vegeta, even more than Goku. Goku nowadays seems like the kid, the kid with like superpowers, which again, it's is not bad, but when he's like the main character and he's making the choices, it's like, well, that shouldn't be. Because at least Vegeta, again, it feels like Vegeta should be the main character because he's the one that again got all the development, all the love. Even though, as you mentioned, Akira Toriyama does not like Vegeta as much for some reason. Maybe although that was like when they interviewed him in regards to this, I think that was a long time ago. So maybe now that's why he developed him because he didn't like how he was initially. I'm not sure if that is the case or not, but at least Vegeta has changed a whole lot.
Oh no, but I mean, even during the Buu saga, he had gotten very developed, and I think that when he said that was probably after the whole series.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to confirm that. So, but I at least he was developed. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so so I think that with this we do conclude our podcast. We did cut it a little bit short. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be seeing you guys next week.
Later.